Hello everyone, welcome to the Advancement Centre and welcome to the world of magic and miracles. We always start the same way so that we naturally elevate ourselves without thought straight into the area way above our everyday living, to that elevated platform of living that each one of us has mastered in a very, very short time, to where the energies circulate and flow between us all and turn on that unknown engine that each one of us has to produce the powers of the universe that we're about to explore again. In logical terms, it seems like advancement has no meaning, because at times we actually go backwards to handle something that's so simple that it's the main building block of our life. And so it's not all going forward or left or right or up or down. And today we're going to go in a different direction altogether. We're going to look at our interface with the world that has suddenly grown out of all proportion, so that our influence is happening in other realms that support the earth and its growth in the universal terms. And so now we're in a position where if we just look at the simple things in life, we're looking at a whole new, highly technical area of living that's controlled with our cooperation, such that the energies in the fields of the earth actually assist us in our movement, in our elevation in life, in our capability to actually feel good and to be on top of the wave. And so although there's no explanation, it's all based on the simple things in life that we've known for centuries. We often feel quite emotional about something simple that's done for us, or that we've seen done for somebody else. The power of that simplicity is sometimes overwhelming and brings tears to our eyes and joy to our heart. The funny thing is, in our everyday life, we forget about it. We forget about the natural power of the simple things, the natural power of that connection that is always ours. And the simple things fire our engine. We called it in the past our emotions, because we had no idea of the trillions of inputs and outputs that actually operate each day. So now we're at a point where we can look at the actions of a child as being much more intelligent, much more advanced than anything we practice in our life. That advanced intelligence invites the simple things in life. And it invites the simplicity of feeling, the lack of complication, and the elegance of being able to not be concerned about anything except the movement of your spirit. And as it flits off around all over the place, it's taking you to where the perfect thing can happen at the perfect time. And you'll see now that things have advanced so far. Synchronicity beyond belief. Synchronicity that nobody could have planned. The simple things that you would normally take weeks to do happen in an instant because you're led in the correct direction. Because you're led to search in a certain manner and pick things that attract you rather than things that are logically in your field. And so our picture that we look at becomes much more what you might call appropriate in every form. We see what we need to see, but it's not based on pictures that were created in the logical world or in our physical experience. We get a masterful feeling when we achieve things and didn't really know how we did it. And that's to increase more and more as we step out into the world and look at the simple things. The simple things in your everyday life will overwhelm the complicated, and they will disappear out of your life. And all those adjectives that describe how your life should be, how good it is, how bad it is, what's happening, will all just intermingle into one beautiful feeling that has no explanation. And you won't have a million rules that you have to look at before you move anywhere. You'll simply follow your spirit and go to wherever it takes you, either in thought, movement, position, getting up out of the chair, or whatever. But the beautiful thing is, everything you're led to, everything that you're led to do, has everything associated with it in a package that gives you all the nourishment, all the courage, all the ability to do those things without even thinking about it, and with ease. If you want to feel good, it'll happen. If you want to move lightly, it will happen. And you cannot even get in the way of that anymore, because all that aspect of our life has drifted into the background. And all the various realms attached to Earth are affecting us 1,000 times more than they ever have. If you go for a walk and just tell the energies to take your weight, to keep your balance, to liven up your step, to brighten your thoughts, to brighten the glow in your eyes, the Earth and all its associated dimensions will immediately flow to your aid and assist you physically in moving perfectly through its atmosphere. Will assist you to walk clearly in the right direction, to meet up with the right people, to go to the right place in the shopping centre, to pop memories in so you don't have to have a library of memory bogging you down all your life. The understanding is not needed. The joy of being here and enjoying the simple things in life allow you to celebrate and function as a very, very special human being in the eyes of yourself. It doesn't need to be expressed in anybody else's eyes, but it will be. And you'll see yourself in a whole different light because of the simple things in life. As we move further into this rather new prospect, you'll find there is almost no limit to the possibilities that can appear in your life. As soon as you are happy with the fact that it's real, it appears. And I've often said you can stand watching the clouds or the trees and you can see shapes in there, but the person next to you won't see them, even though you try to explain. And if it's a picture that you can see in the background of a hill, it takes some time for you to explain that to someone who hasn't been confronted with that picture, because it's there hidden in the knowledge of what you already know. It's a bunch of trees or it's a bunch of clouds, but you can't see the patterns because you only see them as clouds. As we move forward in the world of magic and miracles, it's identical. You won't see unless you have some special event where you bump into it, or there's a character from a hidden realm that impresses you and lets you see or feel. And that can even be a bird or a butterfly or anything like this. It will pop into your field and let you see and feel beyond what your standard picture is. And don't be surprised if it happens 1,000,000 times in a day. We're being led not by the nose, not by our heart, but by the most profound program that we've ever been allowed to experience, that of our Creator. And every one of us is an instigator as well as a doer. We'll jump up out of the chair and go and wash a dish and then sit down again, and somebody will walk up and they need that dish. We don't even think about it. We go to the shop and all of a sudden we get a thought and we buy a vegetable that you're not sure whether you got some or not. And sure enough, when you get home, wow, I didn't know we were out of that. These are the simple things in life. The fact that you can turn down a particular street when you were thinking about you have to contact someone and you run into them. Or you hear the phone and it's not, you don't have the phone. And within 5 minutes, you go and get the phone, pick it up, and it rings while it's in your hand. There are millions and millions of things happening that we can relate to one another. And the experimentation is the greatest of all things. How we can relate a simple interaction with something special in the world and not know how to explain it. It's something you'll start to get used to. A description has many things with it. But when you speak of something with knowing, you transmit much more than your words. And you can do that on paper or anything you like. It will transmit with the message. Just like a little message from a child when they first start to write. It's full of heart, and you keep it for almost all your life because it has a bigger message than just the few scribbled words of the first writing. Our interaction with one another will become so relaxed that we'll just be like childhood friends to everyone. But at the same time, we'll have such an immense respect that we think nothing of, that we treat everyone as if they just walked in the door and they left 10 minutes ago. Everyone we meet will have that special interface with the world that allows them to walk calmly and securely through every part of their life. And we don't have to work to do it. We just have to go with the beauty of simplicity and the honor and respect that we brought in from our origin. That mystical being that encompasses every part of your world has these facilities and abilities that are now starting to appear in the physical world. We can talk, but if we have a direction in that conversation, we get bogged down very quickly. But if we just talk for the sake of having a conversation, it never gets bogged down. It never has a specific subject, and it goes all over the place. And that is exactly how we're built. The ease that we can move into a conversation is the same ease we can move into following our spirit. And it's a dance that never, ever ends. And when I talk about power, it's not the same as the power you're brought up with. It's a gentleness and an endless power that hurts nobody, destroys nothing, but takes you to where you need to go and changes the physical world to suit your requirements. It's hard to get your mind around that, but it's the truth, and we've all lived with it all our lives. You don't have to force anything in the world. You have to dance with it. And you watch. Everything will change. Because it has a different time cycle than you may think there's a delay. But there's not. A change in the world that doesn't affect everybody appears in your world and enhances everybody else's world. And that happens immediately. Our response to it is slow until we get used to it. Once we get used to it, we're like the young child that giggles about something, runs into a wall, has a bit of a cry, then giggles about something else, runs all over the place, and none of it means anything except they're having fun, they're following their spirit. They're showing us a new formula, one that takes intelligence beyond what we've used in our lives up to date. And if you want that intelligence, just be simple, because that's what comes with it. Simple approach to everything without any conditions or repercussions always works. Even if you think you have a problem and you go to solve it, if it's not solving itself, walk away. And your mind will go crazy and say, well, I've got to do it, I've got to do it. But if you walk away for a while, do something else, all of a sudden, you'll be directed by spirit back into the problem, and you'll have the solution. So instead of struggling with something that you'll probably never get to the end of, you can walk away, wait until you're led back to it, and go back there with a clear mind, and you'll solve the problem because it's solved for you. You'll be directed exactly to the right place to do the right thing. There are many, many stories that I can tell you, but it's for you to tell everybody else your story. And I encourage everyone to communicate with one another about the simple things, about the beauty of those simple things that you've never mentioned before. Because it was classed as a coincidence, or it just happened and you went, oh, okay. But as you talk about them, they'll multiply. And when we talk about advancement, it's not all uphill. We're on a very, very big downhill run now. And we're advancing as if we're riding a skateboard down a hill. We don't have to do anything except maintain our balance and have the time of our life. And everything in your life will convert into a perfect downhill run that you don't have to work out at all. In a perfect sequence of events that thrills you every minute and allows you to celebrate that massive unknown power that is rising out of the earth, out of you, out of the universe, and out of all the dimensions that we've not really looked at. Out of those hidden realms where we daydream and go places, and they're real. And all our history is based on proof that that's not real. But in fact, there's no proof that it's not real. It's the only thing that is real. And the reality that you build disappears as soon as anything goes wrong. The reality that you experience doesn't disappear. Like if your past grandmother starts to talk to you in the middle of the night or in the middle of the day, they don't go away if somebody slams the door. But if you have a bunch of thoughts and you're figuring out how life is, and someone slams the door, they're gone. All you want to do is kill them for making a noise. So the reality doesn't disappear. So if you can think of your life and decipher which is real, the interaction with your own being or the story that comes on the news, you get a power outage, the story's gone. You don't need any power to maintain your connection with yourself, with all the beings, with the earth, with the birds. And they'll maintain that no matter what. So that's what reality is. The opposite to what you've been taught. So in a real magic and miracles timeline, you're everywhere, all the time. And it's real, and it is magic. And it's miracles and powerful miracles. And we continue because that's how we're built. We don't continue because there's a certain government or a certain store around the corner. We will maintain ourselves. And it's not based on the things that we think were put there to support us. They came there because we are who we are. Just like every herb you ever need for your body, you'll find within the confines of your land or within the confines of where you visit regularly. And if you live in Manhattan, that'll be a store, or it'll be a little corner shop or a friend. And if you live in the country, it'll be growing all around your fences. So know that this is the same as all the facilities that are built around us, even the roads. They're done because we need them, not for any other reason. So now, as we enter that world again of magic and miracles that establishes us above all things, we can see that the power of the earth is here to help us and to guide us and to bring us to where we need to be in every venture, every episode of our lives. We are majestic beings, and the earth is our playground, but the most powerful playground ever known. And it's not limited by human beings. It's enhanced by human beings. So once again, we leave you with a whole new, higher intelligence that will work with simplicity, will work with every prospect you can ever imagine, and will take on the powers of the world and make friends with it. So for me, all I can do is offer you the perfect life, perfect health, and a magic future. Thank you.